had an amazing vacation, you fully unplugged and just enjoyed yourself, but towards the end of the holiday you start to get that sense of dread. You're completely out of your routines, you've been eating nothing but pasta and bread for weeks and spent way too much money, and it was all great. But now your vacation is coming to an end, work starts on Monday, and you're kinda starting to feel more anxious and overwhelmed than you were before your vacation even started. No? Just me? Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. I just got back from 2 weeks of traveling yesterday. My work starts back up tomorrow. And today I'm taking you along for a full life reset to get back on track and start the week off right. If you've seen my Paris vlog, you will know that I actually swapped apartments with another YouTuber called Chien. And when I got home yesterday, the apartment looked so good. She's been taking such good care of it and maybe even left it looking nicer than when she arrived. And that means that we don't have so much cleaning to do, which is lovely. I am gonna do a quick clean of the apartment and then I have to unpack, of course, and do all my laundry. I also want to do a big pamper session, do some groceries, do some meal prepping and some planning for the week, and hopefully get in bed by a reasonable hour so we can start resetting that circadian rhythm after the holidays. I am just so motivated to get back on track, get back into routine. So if you enjoy this kind of video, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment telling me your favorite way to reset for a new week. Now let's get down to business. Let's start out with unpacking. I hate unpacking, so let's just get it out of the way. I traveled with just hand luggage. I bought an extra cabin bag and then a personal item, so I can fit a lot of stuff here for traveling for 2 weeks, so that was perfect. This bag is crocheted and my mom made this, and it will just expand to however much you need to bring in here. And then the main suitcase was actually gifted to me by Level 8 in my first ever sponsorship, so that's so much fun. Now let's sort through all of my laundry. I have the laundry from the travels, then I have my bedding, the bedding that they slept with when they stayed here, and all of the stuff that I didn't get around to washing before I left. First load of laundry is running, I'm gonna do some reorganizing. So before I left, I made some space for them in the kitchen cabinets, in the bathroom cabinets, in my hallway wardrobe, which means I also put some of my stuff in the basement. So I am gonna put my suitcase in the basement, bring back my own stuff, and do some reorganizing really quick around the apartment to get it back to my own. I also put a hair mask in my hair, some rosemary oil, because we're gonna do a big pamper session later, so that's why my hair is looking so greasy. It's almost 1 p.m. now. I got started really late this morning. I just could not get out of bed. I felt so unmotivated. So it's gonna feel so good once the apartment is reset. And let this be your reminder that even though you had a slow morning and you were just scrolling in bed, it's never too late to turn the day around. Even if it's like late in the afternoon, even if it's evening, it's never too late to do something to turn your day back around, to make sure you go to bed tonight feeling like today was not a complete waste. If you are someone who just needs a day in bed to relax, please ignore this comment. You do not have to be productive by any means. Anyway, let's get to organizing. And the first load of laundry is done, so let's go do the next load. I got the second load of laundry running, and now that everything is nice and organized and unpacked, I am gonna do a super quick clean. Like I said, the state of the apartment is really not that bad, but I am just gonna give it a quick vacuum, a wipe down, clean the mirrors, and call it a day, I think. And the apartment is looking great, which feels amazing. The only thing I have left to do is make my bed once the next load of laundry is done and the fresh sheets come out of the dryer. I have 20 minutes until I have to hang the next load of laundry, so I am gonna take this opportunity to have some lunch. I am starving, so I'm gonna eat just whatever I can find in the fridge while I make a grocery list for the week. I want to do a meal prep later, so let's make a good grocery list and do a nice meal prep for the week. Here's the weird little lunch, some olives, some rye bread with cheese, my vitamins, and some mango smoothie. I just made myself a little lunch and I was about to sit down and do my shopping list for the week, but then I saw that Xian, the girl who stayed in my apartment last week, has posted her Copenhagen vlog to her YouTube. So I'm gonna watch that now and link it if you haven't watched it yet. I'm so excited to see what they got up to while they're here in Copenhagen. If you have never tried house swapping, this is your sign. It is my new favorite way to travel, and if you have an apartment somewhere cool, please don't hesitate to let me know if you want to swap sometime. I'd love to go somewhere cool in the fall. Anyway, I'm gonna eat and watch Xian's video. We are currently in Copenhagen, which is pretty wild. I just had my lunch while watching Xian's video and it was so good, so much fun to see what they got up to, and it was such a good video, so make sure you go check out her video. I also just made a grocery list, so I'm gonna go hang my laundry and do some groceries. Is all clean, all of my laundry is done, the bed is made. I just did my groceries for the week and I'm gonna meal prep some really delicious dinners and breakfasts later, and it is now 4:30 p.m. and that like Sunday scaries feeling is really starting to hit me, like, oh my god, I have to be in bed so early now, the vacation is over, I gotta get everything done before getting to bed and going into work. But one thing that always makes me feel more prepared for the week ahead is to do a good Sunday pamper routine where I just take my time, wash my hair, wash my body, put lotion all over, and just take really good care of myself. It always makes me feel so much better. So that's what we're gonna do now. If you are someone who struggles with the Sunday scaries feeling, and don't get me wrong, I love my job and there are aspects of it that I miss, the routine and my coworkers, and I am looking forward to going back into the office, but at the same time I'm also really grieving my summer holiday being over, and it's gonna be another year until I have such a long vacation again. But if you are someone who struggles with Sunday scaries, if you are able, just promise me that every Sunday you are gonna do a self-care ritual of some sort, and it doesn't have to be this whole big thing that takes hours and hours. Just do something for yourself that really calms you down and makes you feel cared for and ready for the week ahead. I promise you it helps so much. So I am gonna go do an everything shower and I'll be right back with you. I just did my everything shower and I also did a little manicure on myself just in this see-through neutral color. I also just did a teeth whitening strip and it is now 6 p.m. so I'm gonna start doing some meal prepping. As you guys know, I love to meal prep on Sundays, so I have easy, healthy dinners throughout the week and I don't have to worry about cooking. So today we are making a few different things. As you know, I eat lunch in the office. We have beautiful lunch every day. I'm very fortunate. So I'm gonna prep breakfast, dinners, and some ginger shots. And for breakfast, we're doing my blueberry overnight chia seed oats that I also shared in a previous video, but I will put the recipe in the description. And for dinners, we are doing the Jennifer Aniston salad that I love to make, that I've done so many times before. Let's start with the ginger shots. So for my ginger shots, I just cut up some ginger, and the recipe I follow is from TikTok and she says about 70 grams, but I'm just gonna be generous. I like them spicy. 2 oranges without peel and the juice from 1 lemon, and then 2 cups of water with a little bit of pepper and a little bit of turmeric, and that's it really. You just blend that all together and sift it, and then you have about 12 days worth of ginger shots. I've not actually tried keeping it in the fridge for 12 days. I feel like this probably does not hold up well in the fridge for more than a week tops. The last time I made it, I shared it with guests and family, but we will see. Maybe I'll have 2 a day. The ginger shots turned out amazing. I just had one. Now let's make my overnight chia seed puddings. I just have these 4 glass containers. I bought them at SONY, and I am gonna start out with adding 2 tablespoons of oats to each one. Then I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of chia seeds to each. Now I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt to each. This is not necessary. I just think it helps with making it a bit more creamy. Now I'm gonna add some blueberries, and I'm using frozen ones. You can use fresh ones if you want. I just use these because they're cheaper. Then I add just the tiniest pinch of salt. And I like to add some cinnamon. Again, this is not needed. I just like the more round taste it gives. Oh no, I just dropped a lot of cinnamon into this one. Oh well. And then you can add your milk of choice. I usually use oat milk. It's just nice because it's a little sweeter. It's also a little bit less healthy because oat milk is just full of sugar, but it tastes so good. And then you just give it a good stir and make sure to be a bit thorough here because the chia seeds will sometimes stick to the sides of the glass. I forgot one of the most important ingredients, some honey. Then I like to add just a few more blueberries on top for decoration mostly. And another dash of cinnamon, except the one that got a whole bucket full already. And that's it. Now for the dinners, sorry, I am boiling water for the quinoa, but for the dinners, I am making some quinoa and I'm just mixing it all in a big bowl with some chickpeas that I'm gonna drain, with some crumbled feta, with some raw red onions, a whole raw cucumber, a bunch of mint. This is essential. You cannot make this dish without the mint. A bunch of parsley, and then I am gonna just make a super simple dressing with some olive oil, a lemon, and some garlic. Mix that together and then mix that into the salad, and that's it. cannot tell you how good this smells. Dinner was delicious. I just did the dishes and now I am sat on my couch with a cup of tea and my laptop and my journal because I am gonna do a bit of reflection, a bit of journaling, a bit of planning for the coming week. As you know, I think any good planning session starts with some reflection. So I'm gonna start out by doing some journaling and just reflect about how this summer has been and get in touch with how I'm feeling and what I think I need going forward. Then I'm gonna spend some time planning the upcoming week, planning some content for the next few weeks, and booking some workout classes so I know what I have coming up. And that for me is the biggest and most important thing, to feel ready for a new work week, especially here after the vacation, to have a plan and to know what we're doing and to regain a sense of control. It is easy to put really high expectations on yourself at a time like this, to get back into it with 100 miles an hour and expect yourself to work out every single day now because you've had maybe a couple of weeks where you haven't worked out so much. But we are going to be gentle with ourselves. It's very important that we let ourselves ease into life and routines again so we don't get overwhelmed and burn out. But at the same time, for me, there is something so motivating about having been lazy for a while. I like to refer to it as my Phoenix theory, that whenever I have been really down in the dumps, whenever I've been really lazy, whenever I've been eating crap, I know just around the corner there will be a big surge of motivation and energy and momentum and just wanting to feel much better in my body and in my life. I love to just roll with that. So if you have that feeling, go for it and put yourself up for a challenge. But if you are someone who can be a bit hard on yourself, make sure to be gentle and don't set your expectations too high. But like I said, I'm gonna start by doing some journaling. If you've seen my Paris vlog, you will know that I got myself a new journal and I did show it in depth in that video, so I'm not gonna get too into it now. But I got my Louise Carmen Traveler's Notebook from Paris. It is gorgeous and filled to the brim, so it barely closes, but this is what she looks like and love her. I am gonna do some journaling in my new journal. Just finished planning my week in Google Calendar. I booked my workout classes in my app for the week, and to start out I did do a journal session in my beloved Louise Carmen and I feel so much better. I am so looking forward to the week ahead. The only thing is it did take a bit longer than I wanted it to. So now it's 9 p.m. and it's time for me to get to bed so I can get up nice and early and go to my Pilates class before work in the morning. I already did my skincare, so I am just gonna brush my teeth, put on my eyelash serum and put in my overnight curls so I will feel my absolute best waking up in the morning. And after that I'm just gonna get in bed and read for the rest of the night and get back into that routine. We are gonna reset our circadian rhythm like our lives depend on it, okay? I slept in so late this morning, so I'm really not tired yet, but we are not going to start the work week with not getting enough sleep. So I'm gonna force myself to get tired by doing some reading. Speaking of, I did just want to show you the books that I picked up on my vacation. I bought a couple of books while traveling. The first one I bought when I was in Paris. I went into my favorite bookstore in Paris, Shakespeare & Company. I ended up picking up Just Kids by Patti Smith. I am very excited to read this one. After Paris, I flew straight to England to see James, and he is staying in Oxford at the moment. So if you haven't seen my Oxford vlog yet, I'll link it somewhere up here. But we did go into Daunt books in Oxford. I only thought there were Daunt books in London, but apparently there is one in Oxford as well, so we had to go there, of course. And James decided he wanted to buy me a book because I had just hit 10,000 subscribers at that point. And welcome to all of you new people here. I'm so glad you're here. The channel has never grown as fast as it is right now, and I'm just so thankful for every one of you for being here. Because you're here, James wanted to buy me a book, so he bought me Babel from Daunt Books. And if you know, you know, this is a very fitting purchase for Oxford because it is set in Oxford in 1836. And I don't know much about this book except people love it, and it is a bit of a big boy. It is like 500 pages, but excited to read this. I feel like it's gonna be a perfect fall read. Speaking of, I am getting so excited for fall. We're only at the very end of July when I'm filming this, but I was just planning my content for the next few months and brainstorming all my fall videos for you, and I'm so excited. But we are not there yet, and we are gonna enjoy the last bit of summer we have. Then the last books I bought were in the airport. In all the English airports I fly from, they always have this buy one get one half off offer on books. By this time last night when I was flying home, I was feeling so anxious that I ended up buying 2 self-help books. What a cliche. The first one I got is The Psychology of Money. This is someone who has spent too much money in her 2 weeks vacation and now is stressed, and saw this and thought, yeah, that would probably be good. Timeless Lessons on Wealth, Greed and Happiness by Morgan Housel. So excited to get to this eventually. And another book that I've been wanting to read forever that I finally picked up in the airport is The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And I started reading this in the airport on my way home yesterday, and I actually was really moved by it. I think it was hitting closer to home than what I had initially expected. So I am so excited to keep reading this. I love to read nonfiction in the morning and fiction in the evenings, so maybe I will start reading this in the mornings. So I had heard about Mel Robbins' Let Them Theory. I had initially thought this was mostly about letting go of the fear of what other people think of you, which I thought was so fitting. I am coming up to a year of doing YouTube, and this has definitely been a year where I have practiced letting other people think what they want to think about me, and that's really none of my business. And that is something you really have to practice when you put yourself out there every single week, because I am someone who has always spent a lot of time thinking that I could control other people's perception of me if I just did a little bit more here, or if I just tried a little bit harder, or if I just explained myself a little bit better, I could control whether or not someone would like me. And of course there is something you can do, obviously, but for the most part you will never be able to control what other people think about you. And I thought that this was mostly what this book was about. It is, but it is also, I've realized by reading the first 30 pages yesterday, that it is also about letting go of control of other people. And if other people are going to do dumb shit that you think you could do better, or that you want them to do it a different way because you think you're smarter, don't. Just let them do what they're gonna do. It will bring you so much more peace. And as I was reading this and her examples, I just felt like very seen and understood, and like I could very much relate to her past self as someone who is leaning towards the more controlling type of person. And that is definitely something I'm practicing and getting better at, with just letting other people do what they're gonna do, and let yourself do what you're gonna do, and not worry so much about other people. Let them do what they're gonna do. Let them think what they're gonna think. So excited to keep reading this. However, as you can tell, I'm someone who just starts book and mood reads a lot and jumps between different reads. However, I did leave a book at home that I was in the middle of reading that I want to finish. So I'm gonna get ready for bed now, get to bed and read my Daisy Hates book, which is the second book in Magnolia Park's universe, which if you've been watching my videos lately, you know I've been reading forever and I really need to finish it. So let's get ready for bed.